What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Voice of the Fans podcast. As you can see, I'm still out here on location, fans. But Cleveland, I must admit, 62 in October is excellent. I'll take this every year. Where has this been?
It's been here, Cam. That's what we do, Indian summer, every year.
Man, this I would take this, fans. I don't know if you guys been to the Northwest, but my goodness, 62 in October. Woo! Woo! You guys don't know what you're missing right now, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good for the next week. So I've been up here, Cleveland, 7 weeks now, and a handful of days of rain. I'm not complaining about this weather whatsoever. What's good, Barry? Thanks for tuning in, Barry. Fans, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot to go over tonight. We got a big tilt in NFL. We got Lamar Jackson takes on the young prodigy and Jaden Daniels. And don't let Cleveland twist your mind in thinking that he had Jaden Daniels being super spectacular. He actually didn't think Jaden Daniels deserved to be drafted. So don't let Cleveland tell you anything other than that. But there's a big tilt in the NFL this week, and that's one of them. We're going to have there's a big tilt in the fantasy football, Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League, which I don't know, Cleveland. I don't know if you can survive this one. I don't know. Even though my quarterback is on a bye right now, Patrick Mahomes decided to the NFL schedule kind of messed me up when I'm playing for number one in the league. But we're going to get through that. Cleveland, believe it or not, the NBA is preseason games are going on. Hockey's already started, Cleveland. We got Major League Baseball going on right now. Major League Baseball playoffs going on right now. So we want to get – I'm going to let Cleveland take some shot at Shohei before Shohei gets up, before I tell him what happens, with the last 20 minutes. I'm not going to tell him that, but we're going to let Cleveland take out some frustration on Shohei. Because we have to speak about his ineptitude here recently. We're going to get to that, but him and Mookie is kind of struggling, but they got the Dodgers off to a good start tonight. So fans, before we get into all that, we're going to start the show like we always do, or we're like we typically do, even though this needs an edit. Edits is forthcoming, but we're going to get the show started just like this, Cleveland.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
Best league to fight for this. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
So you are lifting weights currently?
It's not like that.
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this?
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right? Like this episode of Northwest, so
I think it's a big part of my game, and every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy
Yeah,
for the whole
yeah,
Panthers.
no, yeah,
I was
Cam,
trying to send them
nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
And you said LeBron is the best player in the history of the game? Did you guys hear that?
Oh, this guy.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
You know how we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cleveland, what's good with you, man?
Oh, going great, Cam. Thanks for asking.
I mean, where do you want to start with, Cleveland? There's so much to talk about this week. What do you want to start with? Anything particular on your mind? I mean, anything? I mean, you want to talk about your guy, Salah? You want to go ahead and talk about your guy, Aaron Rodgers? What do you want to start with?
I mean, we can go Salah if you want to. Yeah.
Before we get into that, Cleveland, each and every week, fans, for those of you who are new to the show, we play our numbers game at the beginning of the show. We have our This Week in History segment midway through the show, just trying to educate some fans on life in America or around the world, actually. And then at the end of the show, we end the show with a kind of a motivational quote just to kind of inspire and motivate you guys throughout the rest of the week until we see you again next week. Cleveland, with today being October 9, 2024, let's look at the number 9, Cleveland. When you think of the number 9, who wore that jersey the best, or who comes to your mind first?
Cam, who comes to mind first is Joe Burrow, just because they were, floundering around.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Very well may not make the playoffs, so I'm a little concerned for JB, Joe Cool, one of my guys. Who wore it the best? I'm going to have to go with Reggie Jackson with those 5 World Series rings.
Reggie Jackson. When did he wear number 9?
With the Oakland A's.
Oh, boy. I mean, you said like 5, like he won all 5 in Oakland.
3 there, 2 in New York.
When you think of the number 12, Cleveland, with it being week 312, who come to your mind first? Who wore that jersey number the best?
What comes by first is, the Seattle Seahawks retiring the number 12, in recognition of the fans and how much they bring to, the winning and losing of that franchise. And who wore it the best is probably Tom Brady.
Okay. I got Jim Kelly a little bit better than that guy you mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Jim Kelly better with no Super Bowl rings?
Boy, do we want to get into a conversation about that guy you mentioned commentating on CBS, I'm assuming? I haven't caught one of his games, but
yeah, no, it's actually Fox. It's not CBS.
It is Fox. It is Fox. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't caught one.
Yeah, it's 6-0, so you don't have to talk too much. Keep him quiet, actually.
Cleveland, what was your most impressive win this weekend? Man, there was a lot of wins. As the Dolphins beat the Patriots. I mean, Minnesota going over there getting another W in England. There was a lot of wins that go on the board. Cleveland, what was your most impressive win?
Oh, man, it had to be the Arizona Cardinals over the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And with the style points, I don't know, did you see when Kyler Murray broke out like 6 yards out of the backfield and put his hand up like, oh, it's over. Like, woo. And just took off and nobody could catch him. Wow.
I have that actually as a worse loss for the 49ers. The loss to the Cardinals. Like that was I don't want to say inexplicable because it was a division rival. But I didn't have the game going that way. So kudos to the Cardinals. They sucked it up. They got a win. They pulled out a win After the guy missed a field goal, though, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm thinking about how that game went, didn't the guy miss a field goal to give the 49ers a chance to give the Cardinals a chance to stay in the game?
Hey, all I know is Kyle Murray broke out and put his hand up and ran to the end zone, ran to the house. That's what I remember about that game, first and foremost.
Yeah, so leave it to Cleveland to leave the facts out of the situation. Like I said, I believe if memory serves me correctly, the Niners missed a field goal to allow the Cardinals to stay in that game, and the Cardinals came back and won that game. So that's how my memory served me. Yeah, but nonetheless, it's a good win. It's a good win for the Cardinals. Kudos to them. You got to win these ugly games. And the Niners, I don't want to say not ready in the stretch, but these are just games they're going to have to figure out and win. Like I've been talking about. I've been on this crusade this season about coaches having to earn themselves a victory. I don't think Shanahan earned himself a victory yesterday. Some of the Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota earned himself a victory. I don't think he did that yesterday. So shameful on our 49ers. They let one get away. The Bengals lost. They let one get away to the Ravens. They had their kicker had a chance to seal that game before allowing missing the field goal and allowing the Ravens to stay in the game. What's your thoughts on the Ravens over the Bengals?
Yeah, it was a hard-fought game. You saw two really good offenses out there, two really porous defenses, and that's why the game went to overtime. And special teams let Cincinnati down. They could easily be 3-2, but they're 1-4.
I know that those little tough games matter, man. Those games, people say the season doesn't come down to one game, and that's why you got when these other ones count. The Chiefs over the Saints. Excuse me. Let me back up. The Falcons over the Buccaneers. Your boy, Kirk Cousins throws for 500 hundo. In fact, we were sitting there watching that while watching Major League Baseball. You want to share the people with your thoughts on your guy Cousins going for 500 on the Buccaneers? Bad Buccaneers or good Falcons on that on your part?
Bad Buccaneers. You should never let Kirk Cousins, especially at this stage of his development, throw for 500 yards on you and let a receiver like Drake London,
eat you up
or beat you up. Yeah, no, it's horrible.
I mean, the Chiefs just keep winning. Hunt and Juju came back and played big additions to the Chiefs in this game here. They win the Chiefs 5 consecutive wins this season, 11 in a row overall. None of these past 16 games I reference, the Chiefs have not scored more than 27 points, and they won only 2 games by double digits. Is this sustainable for your defending champions?
No.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So you see them right on the cusp of falling the other way.
It's about to get colder. The teams are about to get better.
About to get colder?
Yeah, it's about to get colder.
They live in Kansas City. I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
I know, and it gets cold there.
Oh, you're questioning if Kansas City can play in the cold?
They have to go on the road. I mean, I know they played that game minus 20 last year, but hey, man.
Are you questioning though whether the Kansas City can perform on the road, Cleveland? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's gonna get colder. It's not gonna be your first flight receivers, if it's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster and the reincarnation of Kareem Hunt running the ball, I mean, yeah, that could be a problem going down the stretch.
Wow. Wow, that's something I wasn't expecting. For somebody to say that the Kansas City Chiefs or allude to the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs cannot deal with the Colts. If I had my soundbar, Cleveland, I'd laugh you off the show right now. That is absolutely preposterous. You're worried about the Kansas City Chiefs and the weather. Again, if I had my soundbar, fans, I'm on location.
I mean, it used to be the Miami Dolphins it's 100-degree difference when they come up here, but it may be somewhat a little bit different next time.
Shame on you. Are you insinuating that if they had to go to Cincinnati, if they had to go to Buffalo, if they had to go to Baltimore, they couldn't win those games, Cleveland? Is that what you're doing now?
I'm insinuating that it would be a little bit different and that their 5-0 record is, through October the 6th. So yeah.
But you reference it being close to November and the weather is going to change. Like that bothers the Chiefs. This is what I mean. Their teams, clearly you reference the Dolphins. Once it gets cold, that's a concern for them. But you're saying because they leaning on Juju Smith Sr. and Kareem Hunt, that they might not be able to handle the cold. This is what you're actually saying on air.
I'm saying it.
I mean, fans, Cleveland. I'm sorry, fans, Cleveland. This show's being recorded, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's a wild one on me, fans. My man saying that the Kansas City Chiefs have to be concerned with the weather. Now, if you said New Orleans Saints, I got you. You said the Miami Dolphins. You said the San Diego or the Los Angeles Chargers. You said the Raiders might have to be some concern once it gets November. I'm with you, but you can't say the Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, bro. That doesn't make any sense, bro. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Cowboys lose to the Steelers. Where did that register on your Richter scale?
The Cowboys actually beat the Steelers, which registers kind of high on the Richter scale, considering they didn't have their best defense out there, and everyone was bad talking them, yourself included, and they just went to Pittsburgh and got a victory. So kudos to them.
I mean, it was against two backup quarterback for the most part.
Is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so not a backup quarterback.
Well, how long is he going to be starting?
He started every game so far this season.
Yeah, but I mean, is it sounding like all of a sudden Russell, this calf injury is loosening up and Russell might be able to practice and see the field? Let me ask you a question. Why didn't they put Russell in when Fields had to go out for a couple of plays last week?
He wasn't ready to go.
Boy, you are slurping everything Mike Tomlin is throwing at you, ain't you?
He wasn't ready to go. If he was ready to go, he would have been out there.
You were just slurping up anything Mike Tomlin throws out there. Cleveland just sucking it right on up. Seahawks lose to the Giants. What's your thoughts on Daniel Jones traveling across country, getting the W with Spears running the ball, picked up 100 yards? I mean, is that acceptable from even though it's a new coach, a new program, a new scheme? Is that type of loss acceptable?
Absolutely not. Rookie backup running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. running for 129 yards is inexplicable. They didn't even have their starting running back, nor did they have their rookie sensation Malik Neighbors out there, yet still able to put up 29 points, yet still able to dominate the time of possession by 15 minutes. Yeah, it was a horrible look for the Seattle Seahawks.
What was the score of that game? I don't remember what the score of that game.
29-20.
Are you seeing enough from grub offense?
Not this game. The last game they had 509 yards of total offense and 38 first downs. This game they only had 30 rushing yards from the running backs. The leading rusher on the team was Smith with 72 yards, which that just can't happen. DK Metcalf fumbled once again, leading to points for the opposing team. And, Jackson Smith and Jigba had an opportunity to catch a pass on third down for a first down to keep the drive going. Dropped the pass, which led to the 47-yard field goal attempt, which ultimately got blocked. So I'm not going to put this all on Grubb.
Oh, hey, look at you! Not I didn't hear you mention the quarterback's name in that soliloquy. Because you can't put anything on him either, huh?
What do you mean? What are you saying?
I'm just saying, without being intentional, you were actually being kind of generous to the quarterback. Number 7.
I didn't think number 7 played bad. I mean, he got sacked, ironically 7 times, and like I said, he led the team in rushing, which your quarterback should never do unless his name is Lamar Jackson or Cam Newton or Josh Allen. And so, yeah.
I think Mike Vick might have led his team in rushing a few times.
I didn't go back that far.
I'm just saying, Mike Vick probably did though. So how do you fix this? Is this as simply as getting number 9 more carries? Is it as simple as that?
For me, it's getting Byron Murphy the second back on the field. The run defense has been atrocious since he's not been healthy and able to contribute, and they had to fix that first and foremost. So it's just no reason Tyrone Tracy Jr. should run for 129 yards.
Well, did you guys make any phone calls? You guys try anybody out this week? What are you guys doing?
No, it's week 6 of the season. There's nobody to call or try out.
I mean, there's people sitting on the bench.
That can stop the run and contribute to that side of the ball in that way, in that capacity.
Mm-hmm. Brandon Meebane can't get out there and plug the hole, huh? Plug the middle.
No Brandon Meebane, no Red Bryant. None of those guys are going to be around and capable and able right about now.
Mm. So you're good with getting number 9 5 carries and Charbonnet 2 carries, who I'm not even a fan of, but he did average 5.5 yards a carry. And had a pretty decent game against my Dolphins. But you are good with getting your running back 7 carries in the game?
The game dictated, when and where they were able to get their carries and, the success or failure of the offense. It's unfortunate, but I would like them to be much more productive, similar to how they were in the Detroit game, just one game previous.
Oh, so just be more productive on 7 carries.
Yeah, Cameron, you just said, right? It was 7 carries for 30 yards. That's not going to get it done. They have to be better, at the run. But the reasons for that, offensive line to a certain extent, score dictating what it is that they could and can, or what it is that they needed to do. And unfortunately, establishing the run game was a little bit of a challenge.
Well, the Giants came west to smack around the Seahawks. That other team in New York went over to represent the NFL in London, and they got smacked around by the Vikings. I'm going to ask you then this again, Cleveland, for the 3rd week in a row. Do you believe in the Vikings yet? And who do you credit more? O'Connell or Darnold?
Well, at 5-0, I certainly think that the Minnesota Vikings have a tremendous opportunity to make the playoffs this year. And, obviously their most outstanding players is Justin Jefferson, and he's continuing to, produce. And be the catalyst with regards to that offense.
I mean, I didn't ask you about their playoff potential, and I didn't ask you about Justin Jefferson. I was very specific with my question. You want to retry that answer, sir?
Ask the question again. I'll answer it. I thought I answered your question, but go ahead.
My initial question was, do you believe in the Vikings yet?
Okay, and the answer is yes. I think that given the fact they're off to a 5-0 start, they have a tremendous opportunity to make the playoffs. So yes, I believe in the Vikings.
Who deserves more credit for their success? The head coach, Kevin O'Connell, or the quarterback, Sam Darnold?
Okay, so it was neither. It's the wide receiver Justin Jefferson who deserves the most credit for their success and failure as a Minnesota Viking team, and so far he's proven to be quite outstanding.
The wide receiver, and not once has anybody ever credited the wide receiver for changing the fortune of a franchise. Have they, fans?
Oh, certainly they have. Have you ever heard of Jerry Rice or Randy Moss or Calvin Johnson? Some of those kind of players.
Oh, what did Calvin Johnson do for the franchise? I don't remember. I don't recall. What do
those other two players do? Jerry Rice and Randy Moss. What they do?
Okay, so 2 out of the 1,500 players that we have playing for the last 50 years, you point out 2 players. I think that really solidifies my argument right there.
I didn't go to the Michael Irvins or the Andre Reeds or other players that I could have named aforementioned. I just went with the 2 that came to mind, off the top of my head.
I mean, again, bad examples. And you try to throw them in with Justin Jefferson, like Justin Jefferson's on their level, number one, which is kind of funny. But Justin Jefferson can't throw the ball to himself, Cleveland. So how does he get all the credit for what the Vikings are doing?
He's an open receiver that gives the quarterback an opportunity to kind of, showcase what he can do a little bit more. And, he's always open.
So the coach has gets no responsibility or praise for putting them in the right situations to succeed.
Well, certainly to a certain extent, but again, it's coaching, right? Cam, you have to have players that execute the scheme.
Oh. So the Vikings on a little road here. They did just recently go on an 8-1 record. I want to say they missed the playoffs that year, but I have to go do my homework. And which included a 7-game win streak. So we've seen this kind of success from the Vikings. Let's see how they finish it off, Cleveland. Well, we went long enough, Cleveland. Fans, I wonder if Cleveland can give me any credit for saying that the Jets will stink this season. Cleveland didn't have them in the playoffs this year. I told you with Aaron Rodgers, they weren't making the playoffs. Not all this if then, if but, if for this, it's for that. I said distinctly they weren't making the playoffs this season. Cleveland, do you recall that?
I do recall you saying that, yeah.
Okay. Do you see them as a couple points out of from being 4-1, or do you see them for what they are firing their head coach? Did the head coach deserve your guy, Robert Saleh? Have you guys texted each other yet? Did you text him, man? You keep your head up or anything?
Yeah, we spoke. We communicated. Yeah.
Okay.
I let him know, he got kind of a raw deal over there. And
he got a raw deal.
Yeah. And that he's kind of the scapegoat for, a lot of promise that is kind of, I don't want to say gone out the window, but for right now, it doesn't look nearly as promising as it did, at the start of the season. And, unfortunately, he's taking the blame for a lot of that.
Do you think their defense will look like it has last year?
Very similar. They held the Denver Broncos to 9 points 2 weeks ago, and then they went across the pond and held the Minnesota Vikings to 16 points. I mean, one of those, 7 of the 23 points was on a pick six. So
Okay, so is the problem your quarterback or the problem your defense?
problems are offense all around.
Ooh. With
That's
Mike Williams, with Garrett Wilson, with Breece Hall.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't score points.
I mean, could your quarterback just be old?
Quarterback could just be old, as I've said many times.
What do you say? What's your favorite saying? I mean,
football players age in dog years, and everyone was expecting the resurrection of Aaron Rodgers 2021, and so far we haven't seen it.
I just don't know where that came from, Cleveland. As I watch football, and I'm not a Jets fan, so it was an easy distinction.
But you watched Aaron Rodgers be the 4-time most valuable player of this league. So
Cleveland, that was 4 years ago. That was in 2021 was the last time that happened, Cleveland. So
okay,
yes, I've seen that.
Not long ago.
Since then, Cleveland. Since then,
myself and other experts included thought that there would be a little bit of remnants of that type of play, and so far it has not really manifested itself. Less one game against the New England Patriots at home. That's not really much of a barometer to kind of project what they're going to do for the rest of the season. So yeah, this Buffalo Bills game, it's huge. However, if they win that game, they will be tied for first place in that division.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. If they win that game, come on, Cleveland. Cleveland, you just said the offense is a problem all over the board. The Buffalo Bills and Cleveland. I want to pat myself on the back, but
the Bills have lost their last 2 games against teams with a winning record, right?
But those have been good teams. To my point is the Buffalo Bills have been, I want to say, dare I say, better than most anticipated. I thought
you cannot say that.
Why not?
They were 3-0. They looked great. Now they lost 2 games. They're 3-2. They lose one more game. They're 500. I mean, how good is that?
Okay, when you put context into who you're playing, does context go? Does context matter against who you're playing? The teams that you're playing.
They lost to the Baltimore Ravens.
So please answer my question.
Houston Texans 4-1.
Please answer my question. Does context matter when you're playing certain teams? Because you're not going to wait. You're not going to wait Miami Dolphins win over the New England.
The NFL is a week-to-week league, and you have to do what you have to do every week. So again, you're avoiding the question. So context does not matter. Is this what you're saying? So the Bills losing to the Ravens and the Houston Texans, who most people in the league thought were going to be. It absolutely does. You want to know why, Cam? Because the record against teams with a losing record is 3-0, and the record against teams with a winning record is 0-2.
So you're telling me you don't believe in the Buffalo Bills?
No, not really.
Because they have an 0-2 record against winning.
Not really. Not really.
Not really. What? I'm not certain.
I don't really believe in them.
Oh, so you believe they're beatable? Then
I believe they're very beatable. Yes.
You believe the Jets are going to beat the Buffalo Bills?
Not 100% sure. I have to see what the injury report looks like. Obviously, the
come
Jets.
on, man! Stop waffling. Get off the fence, man. I thought you're young Sam. I thought you're young Sam, where you can make predictions.
They have a new head coach. They just got a new head coach like 35 minutes ago. I can't say what they're going to do, Cameron. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to look like.
Sounds like you're waffling to me. That's what that sounds like. That's what. Do you believe that Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with Saleh getting fired?
No.
What's up with your boy? Go right on Pat McAfee. Another reason I can't watch that show. And he just gives Aaron Rodgers 40 minutes to just babble on with no fact check in it at all. Like, dude, what are we doing? You're just gonna let him ramble on for 40 minutes and then walk away feeling like I told those guys. Like, dude, how can you say he couldn't tell me that he had nothing to do with Robert Saleh getting fired.
No.
I mean, he can't come on this show and mention that without thinking he's going to get second guessed or questions, because that's Aaron Rodgers, man. Bro, you done told so many lies just within the last 5 years. I mean, you've been playing the league, what, 14, 15 years? Just in the last 5 years, you ruined your credibility.
Almost 20 years, yeah.
Okay, so just in these last few years, you ruin your credibility. And then to come out and say, this here, Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. You know, people like Cleveland buying this, like Aaron Rodgers is not the problem with this team here. Like, that's beyond me. It's beyond me. Like, I foresaw this coming, that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be the special guy that you guys saw in 2019 and 2021. That was a long time ago. And when you just take time off from anything, Cleveland, you could take time away from drawing. And your skills is going to take some time to kind of get your skills back in rhythm, right? Would you agree with that?
Agree.
And then these are some of the best athletes in the world coming after you, and heard you babble on and talk about how you're going to go do ayahuasca in the mountains and how you're going to go on the dark retreat and then how you're going to go to England instead of training camp. Another example, Cleveland, I told you training camp matters. But Cleveland will have you guys fans believing that there's no importance to training camp. There's no importance to preseason games. That's what Cleveland and others would have you believe. And I keep telling you guys, I keep mentioning, there's a rhythm that you guys get used to. There's the fans, they were a couple weeks ago, they were talking about the cadence was the reason that they were having offsides penalties. Well, if you give that team another week of hearing the quarterback's voice and hearing the quarterback cadence, maybe we're a week further into this new teamwork or this philosophy that we have going on. But Cleveland to say, oh, those reps don't matter. Those reps don't matter to a veteran quarterback. Well, no, they don't matter to him. They matter to everybody else around him. Yes, that's why Patrick Mahomes goes out there and plays in preseason games. That's why your guy Bryce Young needs to be out there playing during preseason games. That's why your guy Caleb Williams should have been out there playing during all these preseason games. You got to get these reps. You got to get this experience. You got to get this experience with others around you. And when you don't, you see what happens during real live games that matter. You see what's happening. It's taking your guy Caleb 5 weeks to get into to resemble the quarterback you expected him to be like. But had he got more preseason games, had he played more reps, maybe we see that sooner. Can the Jets still make a playoff, Cleveland?
Yes.
You got the Jets still in the playoff hunt.
I didn't say they were going to. The question is, could they? And the answer is yes.
Oh, well, come on. I mean, yeah, they're in the league. So yes, there's a chance they can make the tournament. Absolutely.
Previously, let's recant. If they win the game on Monday, they are the division leader.
They're not winning on Monday. Cut it out.
Okay, well.
You know that. I know that. They're not winning on Monday. Does Devontae Adams get traded?
No.
He stays. He ends up in staying in Las Vegas.
Yes.
After all but announcing I want to be traded, he stays in Las Vegas.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on Flacco?
I love the way he's been able to resurrect his career these last 2 years. He's not going to get the Colts to the playoffs, but man, he's showing he is still very serviceable and, you know, a top 20 quarterback in the NFL. That's impressive.
There's no way he gets the Colts to the playoffs. Can they win? Can they win that division?
Richardson, number one, is going to come back and play, and number two, the Colts aren't going to have to make the playoffs. So,
do you think Anthony Richardson should come back and play.
Yes.
So Flacco doesn't give them the best chance of winning?
Perhaps at present he gives them the best chance to win, but they need to know what they have with Anthony Richardson, like ASAP.
You got an injury prone average quarterback who's a boomer bust. I mean, we've seen this for. I mean, well, we haven't seen it for a year and a half, but he's been in the league a year and a half, and he's been injured twice this year, right?
Just
made some big plays.
Injured once this year, and
he didn't get injured just last week. He just get racked up last week.
Yeah, that was the injury, the one time.
Okay. The Raiders benching Gardner Minshew. Is this a move to satisfy Adams?
No. The quarterback that you aforementioned has not been good all season long, and it was only a matter of time before he got benched. So
okay, let me ask you this then, since you were ready to jump all over Minshew. Does he start another game?
Quite possibly. I didn't know if Aiden O'Connell was going to stay healthy for the full season. So, it's always good to have a.
Well, considering, let's consider, let's just, for the sake of argument, assume O'Connell's going to stay healthy. Does Minshew start another game?
Not if O'Connell stays healthy the whole season, no.
Oh man, Cleveland, is this year? I hate to say it, but has injuries impacted the season more this year than ever before?
I won't say ever than ever before. I think it's been, I think probably the fantasy football aspect of it kind of
killing me.
Think a little bit more about some of these injuries, but it's always about depth and next man up in the NFL. I mean, players can get hurt potentially on any given play. So
right.
I don't see a whole bunch of quarterbacks going down. I don't see a whole bunch of top flight receivers going down. I haven't heard about a whole bunch of top flight running backs going down. I mean, obviously some of the injuries have been, pretty catastrophic. Look no further than Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. It's like, yeah, it can change the course of, a season for you, but I don't think it's been like a disproportionate amount of injuries that have happened this season as opposed to other seasons. No.
Okay, that's somewhat fair, but I'm gonna argue with you a little bit because Cooper Kupp going out has been out for a few weeks. We know about the Browns running back Nick Chubb, who's been out obviously since last season. Nico Collins just went out. Again, and I hesitate to say this year is much different than any other year because, as you mentioned, football is a brutal sport. But Nick Collins going on IR is weird. We already have Puka Nacua out on IR, so that's a couple of big-time receivers that's out right there. I'm just scanning, and maybe it's more noticeable or hits home with me a little bit more because as I scan my fantasy football teams, I can't help but notice that I have out with injury, as I mentioned, Puka Nacua. But AJ Brown hasn't played since week 1. And this has been 5 weeks now. That was a top pick of mine. Raheem Mostert was out for 3 to 4 weeks. That was a top pick of mine as well. So my team has been ravaged with injuries because these guys are not. And again, it is just a snapshot of time, and I agree with you. It's hard to say that this is happening more so this season than ever before. But at the same time, this has been I'm feeling the brunt of this, Cleveland. But have you noticed it?
No, you're feeling it for selfish reasons, Cameron, because those players
go.
that are injured haven't been able to produce for you and score points, and thus you're not really in the statistical rankings in any of your fantasy football leagues.
That's
But
untrue.
I don't think that's anything different or disproportionate to what's happened previously in NFL seasons.
I mean, again, I didn't mention this, but Derek Carr, another guy that's impacted my team, is D. Smith, the little receiver in Philly. He went out with a concussion.
You seem to feel it a little bit more personally when it affects you adverse. Is this like something rampant going on, in the NFL across the league? And the answer is no.
What about Derek Carr going out with his oblique injury? Looking like he's going to miss a few games. They're going to start Spencer Rattler down there in New Orleans.
Or Jake Hayner, they haven't decided.
Or who?
Jake Hayner.
I think we know who it's going to be.
Oh boy, you better hope it's Jake. You better hope it's not Spencer. Woo.
What do you make of Bo Nix snapping back at Sean Payton?
I like it.
Does that? Did you go get a Bo Nix jersey?
No.
Patriots to start Drake May this weekend. What's your thoughts on that?
Tough game to start him against the Houston Texans. Definitely want to continue to ride this momentum and keep pounding away at the AFC South. So maybe not the best game to start him in, but hey, man, I guess, they felt like, what's the worst that can happen? Except for him getting injured and not, making the rest of the season.
So Cleveland, we're going into week 6. The Kansas City Chiefs, who I predicted to win their 3rd straight Super Bowl, is 5-0.
Right.
Do the Kansas City Chiefs win the AFC East or win the AFC?
It's hard to say whether they're going to win the AFC or not. They haven't, in my opinion, they haven't looked good enough to do that.
But they're 5-0.
But there's plenty of time to turn that around.
The Minnesota Vikings, the only other undefeated team in the NFL, is 5-0. Do they win the NFC?
No.
Okay. I guess I should have known that, huh? You're going to go that way. Why would you give Minnesota any credit, huh? But that's fair enough. That's fair enough, fans. Fans, each and every week, if you guys don't know by now, we make our picks of each game in NFL. We pick, we get 1 point for the games we pick correctly, and we get 1 point for the games we pick against a spread correctly. We tally it all up, and at the end of the season, Cleveland buys me a dinner for having the most picks correct in the years. At least that's how it's been going for most of the years we've been doing this. And then we also have our confidence pick. Cleveland, I'm gonna give you a week. We're going into week 6. Would you like to modify our rookie of the year bet? I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm a fair guy.
No.
You don't want to modify it? I mean, I'm trying to give you an opportunity to.
Oh, I appreciate that, and the answer is no.
So you're still giving me the field over that guy in Chicago?
Yes.
Fans, you guys heard me. October 9, 2024. I try to modify this bet for Cleveland, but he wants to buy me some full moon apparently, because he has Caleb Williams to win Rookie of the Year hands down, and he gave me the field. Caleb got a lot of work to do, but as we look at our picks from last week, Cleveland, the ones we got wrong, or the ones we didn't agree in, I had Baltimore over Cincinnati. I had Miami over New England. Neither one of us. We both had Indy. They lost. You had Denver over the Raiders.
Fans can't quite see that, Cam. If you could scroll up a tad bit.
What can't they see? Denver over the Raiders.
There we go.
You had Denver over the Raiders. We both had San Francisco winning. We both had Seattle winning against the Giants. You had Pittsburgh over Dallas. You explained that pick? No time zone travel.
Was at home. Dallas was playing on the road. Not a very good running game and not very good against the run. So kind of surprising they won that game.
Picks against the spread. I have Minnesota, Houston, and Dallas.
Again, my man, can you scroll up a tad bit? The fans can't see that. There we
go. Picks against the spread. I had Minnesota, Houston, and Dallas, and cashed in all of those. And then for this week, it was 13 points to 10 points, Cleveland. Our points. What happened? We didn't get no points for this week here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that worked out, but we both ended up with 7 points.
What didn't I? Hold on, I didn't even notice that. We both ended up with 7 points.
Yeah. So on my side, if you could scroll up just a tad bit, I had Kansas City and Washington for 7 points. On your side, you had Kansas City and Dallas and Minnesota for 7 points. So we tied.
Seattle lost, San Francisco lost. There you go. Okay. All right, we'll leave it at that. Here's our picks for this season, for this week coming up. Tomorrow night, I got the Niners over the Seahawks. Does Brock Purdy get a start on your fantasy football squad?
I haven't decided yet, Cameron.
Why are you being so evasive?
Because why are you being so intrusive as to who I'm going to start on my team? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about you. I believe you got a bunch of players on bye. You need to try and do some GMing out here, like you typically.
I'm trying to worry about my team right now. I'm trying to get some
else. Coach them up. Make some moves.
That's what I want to know. You want to cut the players?
Okay,
you've been talking about one particular quarterback like a dog.
Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about what you're doing.
Okay.
Make your team the best it can be.
Well, he got a lot of smoke. He got a lot of chatter over there, fans. But he's sitting on one quarterback who he talked so bad about like a dog for the past 2 seasons.
Because he's terrible. I mean, had I started him last,
so why you pick him up?
He did.
So why you pick him up? That's why. If he's so terrible, cut him right now.
Don't worry about what I'm doing, Cameron.
Cut him right now. Let me see.
Worry about what you're doing.
I'm worried about what. Did you cut him yet?
Worry about who's going to be the starting quarterback since Patrick Mahomes is going to be on bye week this week.
Because I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna pick him up if you cut him right now.
Okay.
So for that reason alone, you're not gonna cut him until tomorrow night.
Go ahead, wait, and I'm bending knee and see if that happens.
See, man, see how he's doing over there. That'll make your team better, but you holding on to dead weight. Like I can understand if you had some affinity for the guy, but you're just holding on to him for spite's sake right now.
I'm doing what I'm doing. Worry about your team.
You guys see he didn't deny that, right, fans? You guys notice that? So this week again, I got San Francisco beating Seattle. We both got the Bears beating Jacksonville. I have Green Bay in Lambeau beating Arizona. Why do you have Arizona beating Green Bay?
Oh man, as we aforementioned, I like the way Kyler threw his hand up 7 yards into the run. He's feeling it.
Well, he has the best guy to throw to that he's had since
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee over the Colts. Why do you have Tennessee winning that game?
The 10-day, the buy, the mini buy. They're gonna figure it out and set home.
I got Indy in that game. We both got Houston, Tampa Bay, Philly. You got Washington over Baltimore. And Baltimore smacked around the Bills last week. You think that much of Jaden
Baltimore did not smack around the Bills last week. They barely beat the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime. The week before that, they beat the Buffalo Bills pretty good. But the Baltimore Ravens have a tendency to play with their food a little bit too much, and this might be a little bit too much to overcome if they get a little bit behind the eight ball.
If we have to get behind some downs, that means Washington is going to have to jump out early. But you got the young quarterback jumping out early on them, huh?
No, we'll see. I mean, it'll be a tough fought game.
We both have the Chargers over the Broncos, Pittsburgh over the Raiders, Detroit over the Cowboys.
If you can scroll up a tad bit, Cam. There we
go. Detroit over the Cowboys, Atlanta over the Panthers. I have Cincinnati over the Giants. I mean, the Giants impress you that much? You're taking them over Cincinnati?
I mean, on the road, I just don't know if the Bengals. I mean, you got to show me a heartbeat. And so far, they played some really, good games. Of course, the chemistry between Burrow and Chase is, incredible. But the rest of the team, not so much. That defense is horrid.
And you got Daniel Jones putting in work.
Not necessarily, but it's on the road. And other than Burrow to Chase, I don't have really a lot of confidence in anything else the Bengals do really well.
I mean, that guy T. Higgins is not bad.
Not bad.
The Jets and the Bills, we both have Buffalo in that one. I knew you didn't have the Jets winning that game, but you just want to make it sound good, huh?
No, I certainly can't pick them, given they have a new coach midweek, and it's a defensive coordinator, and that wasn't the problem. So, yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows. So why would I pick the Jets?
So the Colts, I got the Colts picks against the spread. I got the Colts, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta winning their games against the spread. I think that Atlanta going to beat the Panthers by more than 6 points. Tampa Bay, they're playing. Who are they playing? Cleveland, the Buccaneers.
Saints without Derek Carr, so that's a good pick.
And I got the Colts winning their game against the Titans. You got the 49ers -3 against the Seahawks. You have no confidence in Geno tomorrow night, huh? Washington, you got Washington +6.5. You really think they're going to put the smackdown on Baltimore, huh?
I didn't say the smackdown. I think they can stay within 6.5 points for sure.
And Buffalo over the Jets. I mean, that's not a bad pick, but it just goes against that hope that you were trying to sell us earlier. Our confidence picks in. Well, he does have Buffalo in here. Again, goes spits in the face of what he was talking about the Jets winning that game. We both have Chicago. I got Detroit. You got San Francisco for 2 points. I got Philly for 3 points. I got Buffalo for 4 points and Houston for 5 points. You got Philly. So we have some of the same teams.
Or the 5 teams are the same. The difference is San Francisco and Detroit, and just different orders of those 5 games.
Yeah, okay. So you're not terrible. Fans here, let's check this out. Also, something else that's going on this weekend. Let me get this on the screen for you. All right, I think I had it up. I'm working on it, fans.
That's understandable why there's a little glitch in the fantasy football league, given what's about to come up this next week. You probably don't want the fans to see all that.
I mean, tell me what's about to come up. I'm not familiar.
The SmackDown that young Sam Rothstein is about to put on show enough. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be epic. Run away.
The SmackDown, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I didn't hear about that.
Well, it's not hard to hear.
I ain't hear nothing about that.
Get them Q-tips out is what you need to do.
So, fans, this is our fantasy football. What Cleveland's talking about. This is the Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League.
And who's in first place?
They're about to be two teams with 4-1 records.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough is about to supplant young Sam Rothstein with the win this weekend. We play each other this weekend.
What does Yahoo say? I'm so sorry.
What do you mean? What did Yahoo say?
The projections.
Yahoo projected me to win the league. I'm not sure what you're saying.
I'm so sorry. Can you scroll up a tad bit?
What projection you want?
I thought I saw I was going to win by 25 points according to Yahoo. Did I miss that? Did I miss something?
Yeah, you're going to win by 25 points.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. 27 points.
Well, I haven't made my roster adjustments yet. I still, as mentioned, I got to find a quarterback to play.
I haven't made my roster adjustments yet either. So.
Oh, have you? Oh, you haven't? Well, bench your quarterback. Cut your quarterback. That's what I want to see. Cut your quarterback.
I might do that. We'll see. See how I feel.
Right there, you see I'm on a winning streak of 2 games. Cleveland's on a losing streak coming into this matchup. So my team is riding high right now. We don't make a lot of moves, although it's only 6 weeks in the season. We don't make a lot of moves. My team is pretty solid. Let's take a quick look at my team right here, fans. I know you guys are interested. Well, who's actually starting this week? We got the Red Rifle starting for us. That's why I need to make a quarterback move. I got Mr. Possession receiver himself, Romo Dunze. Nico Collins just kills me, fans. One guy, the league's top receiver going out. Tank Bisbee, I'm gonna just speed right about him. You guys, if you don't know about Tank, you gotta learn about Tank. Jamar Gibbs, that's a running back by committee combination that you're gonna have to be worried about. Brock Bowers, and then I even got Tony Pollard. You see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 players on a bye this week. Nick Chubb hasn't announced that he's ready to play. Dalton Kincaid, my players are on a bye. My top players, my number 1 player is hurt, and I got 4 players on a bye this week, including Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the game, Xavier Worthy, who's coming on, Patrick Mahomes. This is a bad timing for me this week, Cleveland. What's your thoughts on the timing of this game?
I mean, Cameron, if you can't manage your team, I can't I can't speak for you on nobody's gonna cry for you. So,
and then you sitting on Brock Purdy, don't like him. DK Metcalf, Mike Evans is this Jerry? What's the movie? Benjamin Button's Mike Evans?
Yeah, he drinks from the fountain of youth. If that was what you're asking, yes.
Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry,
he drinks from the fountain of youth as well. Thanks for asking.
All that you can ask for.
I have a fountain of youth in my backyard. I just sent him.
Oh, you do? Oh, you do? Yeah. Well, you need the rest of these guys. You need a fountain for veterans because you got Shakur, Goff, Schultz, Jamison Williams. You got a lot of youth on the squad. Oh, look at you went and picked up Kareem Hunt. Look at you, Cleveland. Go pick up Kareem Hunt. Like that's gonna make a difference. It doesn't work for you this week, pal. Doesn't work for you this week, pal.
Okay.
And
the fans would appreciate you more, respect you more if you just say, I'm probably not going to win this week, you guys. I wasn't a good enough GM to anticipate all the buys I'm gonna have this week, and that team is just way better. So I'm probably gonna have to regroup and come back next week and try and make my ascent to the top. But you talking me to death about some players that nobody believes in. Wow, you don't even believe in them, Cam.
I believe in them. That's why they're on my squad.
And the fans can sense that. You know what I'm saying?
I believe in them 100%. That's why they're on my squad.
Who's starting for you at quarterback again?
That's undecided. As of this moment, is Andy Dalton, but I don't like the way our quarterback.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I don't like the way our quarterback room is communicating right now. So I might have to make a change.
Who was starting instead of Justin Jefferson?
Oh man, we can't get into all that. I have to pull somebody off the bench.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. The fans will just respect you more if you just said, "Yeah, it's going to be a tough week for me."
I mean, we ready to do some things. This is some of these guys' time to shine right now. They've been looking up.
Yeah, sometimes that pridefulness can be misguided.
Xavier Worthy's on the bench. Justin Jefferson's on the bench. On a bye, rather.
Yeah, nobody's crying for you, Cameron.
I'm not looking for anybody to cry for me.
Nobody wants to hear about all your trials and tribulations with regards to bye weeks.
Fans, I got to go get a receiver because Nico Collins is also went on IR today. Mm-hmm. So that leaves me with Rome Odunze, my only available wide receiver to play. I need a wide receiver. Who should I go get, fans? Which wide receiver should I go get? Put it in the chat. If there's a wide receiver on your
Darius Slayton.
Oh, see how you do. Because he torched you guys last week.
Yeah, he's hot right now.
I'm gonna find somebody. Don't worry about my squad. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna show up tomorrow night.
Go get Bobo.
All right, all right. Listen to this clown. I'm not listening to this clown. We do need to go pick up somebody like tonight, though. We got to put our feelers out there and get somebody.
Lad McConkey available? Go get Lad.
Cut it out. Cleveland. Now, if you didn't know, the NBA is right up on you, Cleveland. If you're not paying attention, the NBA season going to be starting here in a couple of weeks. With that being said, Cleveland, I got some questions about the NBA. Just kind of, we'll get deep into it. We'll make our predictions probably next week. On the 23rd, fans, we're going to be off on the 23rd. So that is the start of the NBA. So we'll make our predictions next week, and then we'll follow up in a couple of weeks to see how, if we agree after the first week of the NBA, how things are transpiring. But I do have some questions. The Magic signed Wendell Carter Jr. to a 3-year, $60 million extension. Do you think Wendell Carter and what's my man who used to play for the Lakers, went to Denver, now is in Orlando? I want to say Michael Porter Jr., but that's not him. What's the 3-point shooter, defensive stalwart? Jeez. How am I having a brain fart? He was the first of Rich Paul's clutch agents to go to the Lakers, grease the skid for LeBron James to show up there.
Xavier Caldwell Pope.
There you go. How do you think Wendell Carter and Pope is going to show up for the Magic? And does that get the Magic to the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference?
4 or 5 is what they're looking at, most likely. Depending on the development of Paolo Banchero, depending on if Suggs can stay healthy, but that's kind of where I have them preseason seeded for the playoffs. Can
we call Orlando an underdog or no?
Yeah, they're underdogs.
They're still underdogs? Okay. Heat to name the court at Asea Center after NBA legend Pat Riley. You in agreement with that?
Absolutely.
Wizards guard Malcolm Brogdon to have surgery on a ligament in his thumb. Wizards guard Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, that's one player. I mean, I told you I was wrong. I was wrong with CJ Stroud. Michael Brogdon, I thought he was going to be much better a guard around the league than he's been. He won Rookie of the Year, and since then it's been all downhill for him. Here, so I gave you last week some of my topics about the NBA that I was thinking about, and here's some of my quick topics again, without really doing much research, just topics on the NBA. Cleveland, who has the best chance of winning another ring? LeBron, Kevin Durant, or Stephen Curry?
LeBron James.
LeBron James has a better chance of winning another ring than those guys?
Of those three, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that deserves a follow-up. Do you have the Lakers in the playoffs this year?
I think the Lakers can make the playoffs, sure.
Do you have the Steph Curry and the Warriors making the playoffs?
On the fence.
And what about the Suns and KD?
They'll make the playoffs.
They'll have a better record than Lakers, don't you think?
Quite possibly.
How do you expect Tyus Jones to impact the Suns?
He has to help more than what they had previously. Last year they didn't have any point guard presence, so yeah, that's a big addition.
You're just saying he has to help just because they were so they were without one guy last year.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, well, they went and got a couple of them. And I think Jones, if you recall, when the Grizzlies went on that 26-2 home winning streak with Ja out most of those games, it was Tyus Jones who was a point guard for those teams. So he knows how to win in the league. He knows what the Western Conference is about. So I expect, and then he's one of the guys like a quintessential point guard whose sole purpose is to get other people involved.
Yeah, you're getting way too hyped on Tyus at this point, man. Cut it out, man. Slow down.
Slow down.
He's a serviceable point guard that can dribble with both hands and basketball to other players.
He said they can dribble with both hands.
Yeah, Ooh. I don't know where you were going with all that, but I just wanted to pull you back down to planet Earth with all that stuff you were talking or about to go to.
Maybe you're not familiar with Tyus's game. You can say that.
Incredibly familiar with Tyus Jones.
Maybe you can see that because I just gave you an example of when they were winning, and maybe the rest of the league.
Yeah, that's cool. But again, he plays in the Western Conference with other.
He played in the Western Conference then. When he led the team to at least 20 of those wins that were unexpected.
Yeah, sure, okay, but there are still other point guards like De'Aaron Fox and Jamal Murray and Shea.
Now you want to give De'Aaron Fox some love?
Well, he's clearly heads and tails above Tyus Jones. Cut it out.
Again, you can just simply say
Kyrie Irving yet. I didn't even get to DeJounte Murray yet. I mean, come on, man.
Okay. All of those guys you mentioned would each excel if they were on the Suns. Every one of those guys you mentioned. But it happened to be Tyus who's on the Suns, and Tyus who's going to be able to play with in his sole responsibility, and he doesn't seem to he hasn't had a problem thus far in his career distributing to other guys. He's not looking for his 20 points or 20 shots a game.
You know why he's not looking for it? Because he can't find it. Even if he was looking for it, he wouldn't be able to find it. So.
Here you are taking shots at the guy. Okay, you can take shots at the guy all you like, but that doesn't undermine the fact that.
And I'm just trying to curb your enthusiasm, trying to build him up like he's the next coming of Drew Holiday or something. Man, cut it out, man. It's Tyus Jones. 10-8.
He'll be certainly better than 10-8 this season. Certainly better than 10-8 this season. and I say this 2 weeks before the season starts. He's going to be a guy that puts those guys in the right position. You see, Devin Booker didn't excel when the ball was in his hands. You see, KD. You know, KD doesn't really excel when the ball's in his hands. Bradley Beal doesn't excel when the ball's in his hands. So the ball can be in Tyus Jones' hands, and he's going to be the one distributing the guys. You can poo-poo that. You can poo-poo that all you like. But with that being the case, these guys are able to. Devin Booker's able to become a shooter, solely a shooter once again, as with Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. They will benefit from that.
10-8.
He'll be better than that. Will the Bucks? We talked about Orlando making a 4 seed. Will the Bucks be better than the 4 seed this season?
Boy, I mean that's where it's at, right?
I mean, that's kind of where at least they should be, right? I mean, you would think if you're behind the Bucks, if you're behind Philly, the Sixers, or Philly, New York, or Boston.
We're starting it out. Boston, Philadelphia, New York. So
right. If you're not there,
Milwaukee or Orlando, 4 or 5.
I mean, but then you're leaving out Cleveland.
Yep.
You're leaving out Cleveland in that mix as well.
Cleveland, Indiana. Yeah.
Indiana. Whew. I mean, so you don't have Indiana taking the next step.
Nope.
Do you have them taking a backward step because you never believed in Halliburton? Because you're laughing at Halliburton's shot.
I saw him in Paris. What'd you think?
Oh, I mean that's not a fair assessment. He's playing.
He is. He was playing with the best players the NBA has to offer, and he was a cheerleader.
Nobody said he's one of the top 12 players ever in his generation. Nobody put him in that category.
Oh, but he did make the Olympic team and got no playing time whatsoever. Except for that one game. And I think he made 3 shots.
Cleveland, you want to see how preposterous that line is? The guy coming off of a finals championship barely got any run and was a big talk of the Olympics. Are you going to say now Jason Tatum isn't that guy because he was sitting on the bench and he got a DNP in the Olympics?
Jason Tatum had an excuse. He had won an NBA Finals. He was kind of tired. He was kind of spent. I don't know.
Oh, listen to you. You're giving Jason Tatum a pass? You giving Tatum a pass on that? Wow.
I don't think he played particularly well. I don't think he deserved more time than he got. But, man, he played 20 extra games that Tyrese Halliburton didn't play.
Maybe 8, maybe 8 or 9. Halliburton team went to the playoffs.
To the second round. That's what I'm talking about, Cameron. Yeah.
So didn't they swept they played 2 more series than Indiana did. How many games did the finals go? 6 games. So they played 7 games more, 8 games more. Like it wasn't
6 games. So 6 games in the finals and what? 6 games in the conference finals. Okay.
Yeah, I think they swept the conference finals. So more like 10 games.
All right. Well, I mean, you can make as many excuses for Tyrese Halliburton as you like, but yeah. I think there's going to be some regression there.
Well, usually, just typically, you keep this on the back of your hat. When players do go to the Olympics, they come back even better than they went to the Olympics.
They certainly do because they're able to absorb, what other great players do, habits, technique.
Right. So saying he's going to have some regression doesn't really.
Halliburton is not going to benefit from all that.
Yeah, so you just said Tyrese is trash, basically, is what you're trying to say.
He came to Paris, hung out, kicked it with them guys. Man, it was fun.
Yeah, you're just saying he was trash because he can not only is not
which some places you just get access to riding with LeBron and Steph and KD, and it was fun.
Again, you're trying to hide behind not playing, and again, what you're really trying to say is you don't have any respect for Tyrese. That's okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Any people in Indiana watch this show and ready to throw Molotov cocktails at you. Molotov.
Molotov. Yeah, I'm here.
Molotov. Yeah,
I'm here for him.
Yeah. Okay. Who will win? Who will win more games? The most. Who will win the most games this season? The Knicks or the Sixers? Talking about that Eastern Conference.
Sixers.
Sixers easy?
Not easy. It
I mean,
depends
I think they'll probably be
Joel
a
Embiid.
You looking for better health out of Joel in playoff P?
Not necessarily. I mean, they both have their injury issues, right? So, I mean, just, on paper, they have more talent, so they should win more games. But, I mean, they're both susceptible to injury and could be out multiple games, in which case the Knicks would have, more wins. But just on paper, just assuming that they both stay healthy, I would think the Sixers are a better team.
Okay. So, Cleveland, you familiar with the GM survey that they do every year? Every year, the GMs that are around the NBA do a survey. Are you familiar with the survey?
Yes.
So I'm gonna bounce some of these questions off. Just looking at the survey, see if you agree with what the GMs are thinking. Which player is most likely to have a breakout season in 24-25? Which player?
Is this a multiple choice, or I'm supposed to just pick a player?
Well, there's. I mean, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players listed. I mean, what player do you think is going to have a breakout season?
Zion Williamson.
Zion is not on this list. I mean, you just
Ja Morant.
Ja Morant is third on your list. Well, he's tied for second on this list. There's 2 other players with a 10%, got a 10% score on this list.
Breakout year? I have no idea.
Breakout season. Jalen Williams with OKC, he has a 13% breakout percentage. Evan Mobley with Cleveland. I was kind of surprised to see this because, I mean, if Evan's going to have a breakout season, I think we would have saw that by now. Yeah. Like he was solid his first year. Okay, you take a step back your second year, that's expected. But I thought over the last 2 years, we probably would have seen a breakout from Evan Mobley. John Morant was up there. Victor Wembanyama is also tied with Ja at 10%. And Paulo Banchero is tied for 5th at 7% with Cade Cunningham and Brandon Miller. So that one, I was kind of surprised by that one. I think Victor probably should deserve the higher score in that one, but it was Jalen Williams of OKC. I think OKC is going to be tough. So I think OKC can win the West again. Who is the best shooting guard in the NBA, Cleveland? This is according to the GMs, NBA GMs.
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is second with 23%.
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard's not a shooting guard, but he's listed as a point guard.
Point guard, okay. Shooting guard.
Anthony Edwards is listed at 30%, 33%. Obviously for Minnesota. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for OKC is at 20%. Steph Curry is behind him with Luka Doncic at 7%. Last year, Devin Booker won this last year easily with 63%.
So they have Steph as a shooting guard?
Yeah, they have Steph as a shooting guard, yeah.
And Shai. So, okay. But go ahead.
Yeah. Who is the best small forward in the NBA? So, yeah, this is crazy, too. Just right off the bat, I tell you, they have Luka as the best small forward, and they also have him as the best the point guard or shooting guard. Okay. They actually have him as the best point guard, too. I didn't ask you that one. So Luka, just for shits and giggles,
They don't really. The positions are quite fluid. Just
right? Yeah. Because they have. I didn't ask you this, but they have the best point guard: Luka, Shea, Steph, and Brunson. Last year Steph won that with 63%. This year, the best shooting guard, they have Steph in there as well. I mean, Luka's in each category. And to be honest with you, Luka's number 2 small forward in the NBA.
Okay, yeah, maybe we might want to step back from those rankings until it's a little bit more position, heavy.
I mean, it's still backcourt though. They don't have neither one of these guys in the front. Like, who's the best power forward? They're not obviously in that category, or the best center. Yeah, which team had the best overall offseason moves this year?
The Philadelphia 76ers.
They're behind Oklahoma City Thunder. I think what you call it, Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be a big addition to that. I was watching them play earlier tonight. They're playing Houston. That's going to be a big addition for them guys. Again, another person just to get rebounds and hustle. He's going to help them out a lot because he's not looking for points.
That will help you until you get to the second round, Cam.
They also got the guard from New York. You're the former Laker, who you guys had no business with, Alex Caruso. It's funny that Cleveland doesn't know anything about team basketball. Alex Caruso not gonna make a difference for the Thunder. You don't have him making a difference?
I mean, it's helpful, but come on, man. It's they got to the Western Conference Finals last year, right?
Okay.
So no, he's not going to be the difference between them getting to the Western Conference Finals and getting to the finals. No.
Okay. Does the Clippers miss him at all?
Lakers? Yeah, we miss them.
Or the Lakers, excuse me. Yeah, the Lakers.
A little bit.
Okay. What was the most underrated player acquisition this summer?
DeJounte Murray going to the Pelicans.
That's not even rated in here.
Okay, well,
that's not even rated on the.
We've already heard that wherever you pull this information out was a little bit on the bias side of things. So,
Caruso's the number 1 most underrated pick or move. Isaiah Hartenstein and Tyus Jones, are tied for 3rd with 13%. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is the other guy at 17%. Best additions. What's the most surprising move of the offseason?
Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks.
Yeah, that's a number 1. Philly, or Paul George going to Philly. DeMar DeRozan going to Sacramento, number 2. Who's the rookie of the year? Who will win the 2024-25 rookie of the year?
Shepherd.
Yeah, Shepherd with 50%. Castle is 3rd at 13%. Which rookie will be the best player in 5 years?
Castle.
Shepherd at 43%. Castle second at 17%. Then they got the Zachariah Rashier in Atlanta. We'll see. Which rookie was the biggest steal at where he was selected in the draft?
Do I have to say the words? You want me to say it out loud?
Who was that?
Connect 4, man. Dalton Connect.
He's tied for number 1 at 10%. Johnny Furphy, Devin Carter with Sacramento, Bub Carrington with Washington, Terrence Shannon Jr. With Minnesota, and Nikola Topic with OKC. Round at the top. They're all the top tied for I'm trying to pull out some of the best ones here. Since you already don't agree with this list here. This is which team is more fun to watch? You ought to like this. You ought to get a kick out of this one. Which team is more fun to watch? I don't know how they do this. Well, this is the GMs making their thoughts. The GMs sharing this information. This is surprising to me. Which team is more fun to watch, Cleveland?
What's the most fun team to watch in the NBA? Is that the question?
Yeah. Which team is the most fun to watch? You won't get this.
The most fun team to watch is the Dallas Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks, they're not even on here. They're also receiving votes as the Dallas Mavericks, Lakers, and Suns. No, that's not. That's not.
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
No. Indiana Pacers is number 1. Oklahoma City Thunder is number 2. Denver Nuggets and Golden State Warriors are tied for 3. But
yeah, I was never getting those.
I know you weren't going to get Indiana Pacers for sure. Which team level of success this season is toughest to predict?
The Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one, actually. But it's the Los Angeles Lakers at 17, Houston Rockets at 13, New Orleans Pelicans at 13, Phoenix Suns at 10%. Who just went yard again? The Dodgers are putting it on these guys. Dodgers are putting it up. These Gavin Lux with a 2-run home run, 8-0 on the 7th, top of the 7th. All right, enough of that list there. But I thought that was interesting to show you what some of the GMs were looking at during this off season. Liberty ruined the Aces' chances at a 3-peat. Can they win the championship?
They are going to win the championship without question.
Without question, he said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Fans, like as I mentioned earlier, a couple of things we do different than most podcasts or sports podcasts is give you a shot at some things that happened in the past. We call it our This Week in History segment. October 9, 1984, Cleveland, Willie Wilson Gold becomes the first African American mayor of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He served from 1984 to 1992, period, which included controversial move house action in 1985. 1899, African American inventor Isaiah R. Johnson patented his bicycle frame, Cleveland. Do you know that? You know that about Isaac Johnson?
No. I always think of Schwinn when I think of bikes. So if he did something before them, that's interesting.
October 11th, 1966, Black Panther Party founded in Oakland, California by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. October 11th, 1887, African American inventor Alexander Miles patents the electric elevator. He did not invent the electric elevator, however, he improved the method of the opening and closing of the doors, of the elevator doors. October 11, 1998, a Congo Airlines Boeing 727 is shot down by rebels in Kindu, Democratic Republic of Congo, killing 40 people. Cleveland, do you want to speak on the strike in Boeing? Boeing losing like $10 million a day?
Yeah, no, they brought that back. They're back at the table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They try to leave after one day, but they're back at the table now. It's still
it was like a week. I live right by the plant. It was hectic, and those strikes are always kind of like that.
But I'm saying they're not gone back to work yet, are they? They didn't go back to work this afternoon, did they?
I don't think that they've negotiated a deal, but the strike is like we're back at the table type stuff.
$10 million a day. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk. Let's talk about what is it gonna take. Boeing, aside from the doors flying off the planes, like they've lost the S&P. The S&P is going to try change their status. That's wild when the S&P try to change your status as a company, especially the company that makes the money that Boeing makes. Like, and you would have thought they had the market cornered, but you know, it's avionics. There's a lot of people trying to get in avionics, but you would have thought that they had the market cornered.
It's them and Airbus. It's always just been them and Airbus. So,
Congo Airlines, we talked about that one. Cleveland, October 6, 1923, Jack Trice, the first African-American athlete at Iowa State, is assaulted by players from University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in a apparent racially motivated attack. He would die a few days later from the attack on the football field.
That's wild.
Yeah. 10/6/1971, first legally recognized interracial marriage in North Carolina. 1971, Cleveland. That wasn't that long ago, big guy. that wasn't that long ago. 2004, October 8th, Kenya ecologist Dr. Wangari Muda Maathai becomes the first African-American woman to receive the Nobel Peace Prize for her contribution to sustainable development, democracy, and peace. 2004. Cleveland. Why wasn't Jeffrey Merritt called for fan interference against the Orioles when the Orioles played the Yankees for touching the Derek Jr. home run in 1996?
Your guess is as good as mine, and I believe Tony Tarasco is still asking the exact same question. Clearly, it was fan interference.
But should that be a call? Should there be such a call?
Why do fans think that they have some type of right to interfere with the outcome of the game?
So what if the ball's coming to you? You're sitting in the second row at Metro
Leave
Stadium.
the ball the fuck alone.
The ball come right to you. You're not catching it in your popcorn, in your beer, in your chips.
You shouldn't be, unless you want to be involved in the game. I mean,
it's coming right to you.
Baseball is the only sport where you can literally be involved in the game while the game is going on. You can't do that in any other sport.
Well, you could. You'd be ran out of the gym in basketball.
Yeah, but you can't run on the football field and touch the ball. You can't dive on the court and touch the ball on a basketball court. The only place you can do that is in baseball, and even when it's in baseball, it's not even on the field of play.
So hold on, let me understand where you're coming from. You agree that should be a penalty?
Yes, you should not be able to interfere with the player's ability to make a play.
Okay. So if it were a foul ball, let's just assume it's a foul ball. Okay. I mean, we have to go back 4 or 5 years before they put the nets up.
Look no further than Bartman. Okay, that is the most egregious of them all, right?
Oddly enough,
trying to jump into Moises Alou's glove, trying to get a souvenir, to stay out of the game.
Cleveland, he reached out the ball. He didn't catch the ball. That was Bartman's problem. If he caught the ball cleanly, nobody would know his name.
Why are you reaching out to touch the baseball that is in play?
It's coming right to me. It's coming right to me.
Not for you. You just happen to be
sitting right in the right spot.
Right. But that doesn't mean that you should be touching the ball. That doesn't mean you should be interfering with the play.
It came right to me. All I had to do was stick my arm out and catch the ball.
It didn't come right to you. It happened to come off of the field of play into the stands where you sit.
That's right to me, Cleveland. I don't. You can twist up the language all you want. That came right within my circle, within my personal circle. It came right to me. What do you mean, no?
Don't touch the ball, man.
Oddly enough, when I was in Chicago a few years ago, I sat like 2 sections behind where Bartman actually sat, and they kind of, that was a bad word. I asked a couple fans about Bartman. Oh, and they're like, "Oh, don't say that too loud. Don't mention that name too loud in Chicago." But if it went anywhere in that 12 feet space, cats were trying to reach and grab the ball. Like, have you been in the second row, Cleveland, in the outfield, and the ball comes to you, and you say, "Oh, I'm not going to do anything. Humpty Dumpty Dum. I'm not trying to catch the ball."
Yes, I am not interfering with the outcome of the game. No,
you're the only one in that section not trying to catch the damn ball, Cleveland.
They do it all the time, and what makes the Bartman thing worse is that it was at home. It wasn't even on the road, so it could be a little bit more understandable, even though it's still not a thing. It would be more understandable if you were on the road trying to do that, but you're at home trying to get a souvenir. No.
The playoff ball came right to me.
No.
If he caught
I don't agree.
I see you don't agree. That's shame on you. I don't know how a baseball fan is going to act like the ball coming right to him. He's not going to reach out and catch
like
it.
Shohei's 50-50 ball that went like 14 rows out of the stadium. Okay, yeah, do whatever you want with that. But
no, if he comes to me and I'm in the front row, and comes to me within arm reach, I'm catching the ball.
Reach over the fence, try and make a play the same way the outfielder's making a play now. No, man.
Dude.
No way.
What do you mean, no way?
I mean, look, we've already talked about 2 instances that changed the history of the game.
Cleveland, you need to cut it out. If you're third row at the Dodgers game,
no, I am not
from the fence,
I'm not.
And that ball comes.
I'm not reaching out battling with the outfielder for the fly ball. No.
Shohei Ohtani, 55th home run. In a season where he did 55, it comes your way. You're not going to try to catch the ball?
No.
You're a damn lie, Cleveland. You're a damn lie. You are a damn lie, knowing that ball's worth $250,000. You're not trying to catch that ball? You're a damn lie. Now, if it's a week 2 of the season,
Cameron, if I'm 7 rows back, yeah, I'm all about it. But if it's like the outfielder still has a chance to make the play, and I'm trying to outduel the outfielder for the baseball?
I mean,
that is so crazy.
They were just in San Diego, they were in San Diego when the San Diego Padre.
And what did that dude do?
He went and snatched it from him.
No. Shout out to the fan that did not try and do all that Bartman stuff. He was like,
no, the fan, whoever, I'm not sure who it was. Dude went up and snatched it from him. He went up and snatched it from him.
Watch it again. The dude backed off. The dude was not trying to catch the ball the same way the outfielder was.
The
outfielder actually had to go into the dude. If the dude would have been doing all this, he wouldn't have caught the ball.
He jumped to the second row. It was a short wall there, so he was able to get to the second row. The outfielder was and caught the ball. Had it been me, I'm trying to snatch the ball out of his hands.
I know. You're trying to interfere with the game and impact the outcome of the game.
I don't care nothing about
because you're a fan.
Because the ball came right. It came close enough for me to make a move on the ball. I'm making a move on the ball.
Well, yeah.
Cleveland, you talking about you not making a move? Get the hell out of here.
No, that's corny.
I
don't want to be involved like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cleveland, who was the only pitcher to pitch a perfect game in the World Series?
Don Larson.
What year was that?
54?
56. Cleveland, do you any idea what Don Larson's record was?
I believe he had a losing record, but I don't recall exactly what his record was.
Thank you, SB. Thank you. Thank you. That's part of my ticket to the game is participation in the game.
Yeah, SB, when it's out of play, not when
it's out of play. What do you think? We're not sitting in the outfield.
What?
We're not when you say when it's out of play, we're not sitting in the outfield. We're not in between the right fielder and the left fielder or the right fielder and the center field. We're not sitting. There's not a aisle right there. So we're not in play. The ball comes out of the ball is a home run. It goes out of play. It's close enough for me to get it. I'm getting it. What are you talking about? I'm with you, SB. Good looking out. Cleveland want to act like he's going to sit there with his hand folded as the ball's coming right to him.
I absolutely am, because I'm not trying to affect the outcome of a baseball game as a spectator, as a fan.
You're in the third row of that Dodger game, and the ball comes
I'm not touching the ball, man. I'm not interfering with that dude or anything like that. Now, if I'm 5 rows back and I'm out of the player's reach, yeah, that's mine. But I'm not all hovering over the outfielder trying to get the ball. We're not fighting for the ball. I mean, what's going on here?
So you want to cut it out, man. The Supremes released a single, Sunday We'll Be Together. That was Diana Ross's last song recording with the group in 1969, October 9. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, that's another thing too, SB. Cleveland want to act like, again, he want to act like he's not paying no attention to the ball. He's going to sit there with his arms folded, and if the ball comes right to him, SB, he's just going to turn his shoulder, I guess, and let the person behind him catch it.
SB, I'm not fighting with Aaron Judge over a fly ball, man. If Aaron Judge is floating back and has a chance to get the ball, I'm not leaping over him to get the ball out of his hands and be like, $1 million. That's just not me. But I mean, I understand. I can't even really actually understand why people are doing that, because they're fans and they're interjecting themselves into the outcome of a game, which is ridiculous to me.
I mean, now you act like you're in the rule book. You're with the what was the guy who put him on strike? Bud Selig. Now you're acting like you're in there making the rules. Like, come on, cut it out.
And again, this is the only sport where you have an opportunity to do that. So we're only talking about this one sport.
I mean, yeah, it is. That is a split moment kind of reaction. I don't know how many people is going into it like Cleveland saying, "I'm not touching the ball. If it comes within my arm's reach, I'm not moving. I'm not trying to go get the ball." I don't know how many people.
It's very apparent if the outfielder or the left field or the shortstop, on the third base side, or the first baseman on the first base side is leaning into the stand, and you're fighting with him, trying to get the ball from him?
No, if he don't catch it, I'm gonna catch it.
Okay. So you can't even say Bartman in Chicago how they feel about it.
I mean, yeah, they well, that was because there was a home game and it packed them. They didn't win the game. They didn't win the game, and there was some other stuff to
it. Then they lost the whole series and couldn't get over the curse. Yeah, because this dude wanted to get involved in the game.
Well, I mean, he had
the game.
If he catches the ball, there was no argument there, because one of the guys do say, everybody gets on him, but I had my hand out there to try to catch the ball too. So a lot of people do it.
Interfered with Moises Alou catching. I'm sorry. No, yeah, Moises
the
Alou
ball.
catching.
It was in. If he catches that ball, we don't know his name. Bartman. If he catches the ball, we don't know his name. But it's the fact that he
didn't
fumbled
catch
it and
the ball.
bumbled it.
No, he
That's what I'm
didn't
saying.
catch the ball.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That he
moved.
fumbled and bumbled it around, and then now it looks even worse. But had he just stuck his hand out, catch the ball, and it doesn't even Moises could be jumping around all he want. The ball wasn't within my arm reach. All he had to do.
And the Tarasco one was just as bad, except for that dude actually went over the fence and caught the ball and brought it back.
Well, he didn't catch it either, but yes, it hit the heel of his glove and it kind of rolled back. But you're talking about the mayor, right? It hit the heel of his glove and rolled out from there, and that's what you're talking about going into play.
No. The Tarasco one, the dude reached over the fence, over Tarasco's glove to catch the ball. That's what happened.
Yeah, I'm with you. Damn that game. But yeah, if I'm getting paid for that ball, damn what's happening on the field. I'm
Okay.
you
100%. That's for selfish reasons, and I
mean, I don't know how you're gonna sit here and say if you're in Dodger Stadium and 50-50 coming at you.
Let's be clear, Cameron. If I'm 14 rows back, I'm not giving the 50-50 ball back. That's out of play.
Well,
and I caught it. Oh yeah, we're going to auction. We're going to auction with it. But I'm not reaching on the field to do it.
I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference? Yeah, I'm with you.
One of them, the ball is completely out of play. The other one, the ball is still in play, and the player has a chance to make a play on the ball.
Well, if he didn't make a play on the ball, and I made the play on the ball,
it's the only sport that you can do that.
Well, I made a play. I'm making a play on the ball. It's coming. Okay. I'm making a play on the ball.
Yeah. Well, interject yourself into the outcome of a game.
Yeah, call it what you want. I'm making a play on the ball and getting paid.
Go ahead.
October 9, 1986, late night show with Joan Rivers premieres on Fox. First woman to host a U.S. late night TV show. She was fired less than a year later. Joan Rivers. That was kind of a cold way to look at that. Miami wins it. Just keeps winning. Just win, baby. Miami gonna be in the playoffs this year. Hurricanes.
Quite possibly. They should win the ACC fairly handily, and shouldn't have more than 2 losses. So they'll definitely be in the playoffs.
Bama losing to Vanderbilt. How you feel about that one?
I've had a lot of talk about that. Clearly, they thought that the season was over after beating number 1 after week 4, and were just kind of not really taking it too serious. And Vanderbilt didn't really seem like, much of an opposition until they were.
Is that a shot at the coach or the players?
It's both. I'm pretty sure that the coaches kind of understood the players weren't taking it particularly too serious, and that they probably weren't taking Vanderbilt too serious. So they kind of let the fact that the players weren't taking it too serious kind of slide. I think if it was like a Tennessee or an Ole Miss or a Texas in the SEC, it wouldn't have been that. But I mean, this is probably like the lowest team in the SEC, right? So
would you have rather lost to Vanderbilt or Georgia?
Vanderbilt.
Just answer the question.
Well, I mean, but again, it comes off of the win over the number 1 team. So you know that you're capable of beating the best team in the country. So you know that you probably were just kind of, being lax and kind of, not really taking them, Vanderbilt serious. I mean, they tried to turn it up. It was just a little bit too late,
Heisman watch this week. Who's looking good to you? Cameron Ward still in leading this bunch?
No, Hunter's leading the bunch for the Heisman.
Bro, Hunter, they got to be in the playoffs for Hunter to win that.
No, they don't.
They can't be 4-8 again.
But they're not. They're already 4-1.
Okay, yeah, but we're early in the season, bro. They can't be 4-8, and they jumped out to 4-0 last year.
But they're not going to be 4-8, and that's clearly the best player in the country. It's not even close.
Better than Cam Ward?
Yes,
or dude from Syracuse, the quarterback from Syracuse.
Yeah, he's the best DB and receiver in the country. Simultaneously, the same guy.
Well, I think that guy in Alabama, that receiver in Alabama, might be a better receiver.
I have to disagree with you.
Okay. I mean, one of them is gonna catch passes in the pros. I don't think the other guy is.
The other guy hasn't decided. It's his choice to make. So
yeah, well, one guy's gonna make catch passes in the pros. Another guy is not. The NCAA eliminates the National Letter of Intent program, meaning a transfer will be allowed to sign with a new school after they formally entered the portal. That's something they should get rid of. Once a prospect has signed a written offer of athletic aid, other schools will be prohibited from recruiting communications to them. What's your thoughts on this program here, this new move?
It's a lot of moving parts going on, and they don't really know where this whole thing is going to end. But, letter of intent was doesn't really make a whole lot of sense where you can just leave anytime you want, right?
Right. I mean, at least 1 year does. I mean, at least it still allows schools to be excited for, the upcoming season, but it doesn't speak about their process, long term, but it does allow them to, be excited for a moment or something. That still gives, Boise State as an example. They can go hype that we got the 4-star running back or the 4-star linebacker coming out of Texas, whoever they want to highlight. Where a school like USC really isn't going to promote that. You know what I'm saying? But it gives them that moment to get a week or two to kind of get that shine and spotlight. Juju Watkins signs a lucrative deal with Nike, to be expected. NIL money out there, right? The most popular female hooper in the NCAAs. That's to be expected, right?
For sure.
Seattle Kraken makes history by making Jessica Campbell an assistant coach. The first female coach in the NHL. I mean, the Kraken. What do you think of the Kraken? What do you think of this move here?
I like it. It's progressive. I mean, it's cool to be kind of the pioneers of a sport, and kind of trailblazing the way for female coaches. It's unfortunate that they gave up 3 goals in 2 minutes yesterday to lose the season opener, but hopefully she can work on that.
Well, yeah. Let's not blame her though. Do you care to see Caitlin Clark at the LPGA Pro-Am? Interested in that? Whatever.
I don't know.
Okay, Cleveland. It's time to talk some real talk with you. I've had on the show a couple of different boxing analysts to talk about boxing and get you warmed up, to get you juiced up for some boxing. And what do you always tell me? Oh, tell me when we got 2 big name fighters fighting. Tell me when we got a big fight coming up. Tell me when Canelo's fighting. Well, I tell you, Canelo fighting, you don't want to see him fight John Ritter. You don't want to see him fight who is the other guy?
Berlanga.
Well, Berlanga wasn't. We knew what that was going to be. Miguel Munguia, you don't want to see him fight him. So Cleveland, let me ask you this before I tell you about this. What would intrigue you enough to turn on a boxing match?
Oh, Canelo Crawford, I'm watching.
So Canelo fighting. Is it Canelo or Crawford, or you just want to see those two get after it?
I want to see those two get after it.
Okay. Well, what about T.O. in his mouth running off with trying to talk a fight up with Crawford? What would you turn that one on with T.O. and Crawford?
Oh, for sure. Female Crawford? Oh, yeah, for sure.
What if I tell you, Cleavon, the dude who beat Canelo is facing a guy with a 100% KO ratio in his fights? Does that intrigue you? The dude who busted Canelo's ass is now fighting a guy who has a ratio, Cleavon, a knockout ratio of 100%. That means every fight he's been in, he's knocked everybody out.
You know what, Cam? No. And you want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why, Cam?
I'm interested.
Because you're not saying names. You're just throwing out stats.
No, I'm throwing out. If I say Dimitri Bivol versus Arturo Beterbiev, you're not going to know who those guys are either. Okay. I can give you specific names. I can tell you that Dimitri Bivol is 23-0.
That's part of the problem.
What's part of the problem? No, part of the problem is you don't like boxing.
No.
That's the problem.
That's part of the problem because you would have just said Leonard's face is fighting Durant. You would have just said Roy Jones is fighting Bernard Hopkins. But instead, this person,
I try to give you some context. I try to give you some context because I know you don't know who Dimitri Bivol is. I know you don't know who Arturo Beterbiev is.
No, man.
Like again, I know you don't know these fights, so I try to hook you with something you might be interested in.
That's the whole point. You would have gave me some names.
Cleveland, do you know who Dimitri Bivol is?
I do.
If I said Dimitri Bivol versus Arturo Beterbiev, are you tuned in? No, you're not, because you're not familiar with.
I'm probably watching that one, depending who's getting it.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem with you and you, sometimey boxing fans.
Not sometime.
Very sometimey. I could give you a list of fights that you didn't watch this season. Very sometimey. Very sometimey. Cleveland. Dimitri Bivol takes his 23-0 record against Arturo Beterbiev, who has a 20-0 record. Bivol has a WBA heavyweight championship belt. Beterbiev has a WBC, IBF, and WBO lightweight heavyweight championship belt.
And they're fighting in December of 2025.
They're fighting this weekend.
Oh, okay.
These guys are fighting. This is another a right of season promotion. So there's other fights on the card, but these guys are fighting this weekend. Let me see if I can find who else is fighting on the card. It doesn't even matter who's fighting on the card, really. Truthfully, you have that matchup. Most boxing fans should be tuned in immediately. I mean, again, and the way I brought it to you was the guy who beat Canelo is fighting a guy with a 100% knockout rate.
You brought it in suspense because you couldn't actually say the names. And
no, I know the names because you won't recognize the names. That's why I didn't say the names, but I know the names.
I know.
Again, some of you novice boxing fans may not know the name.
Names are not that recognizable because they don't really have that many fights. It's 20 and 23 fights, and they haven't really fought anyone.
Again, Cleveland, how can you say that Jacksonville
that would be a compelling fight if it was on ESPN or Fox? But no, I'm not paying for it.
No, it's pay-per-view. ESPN
Plus.
Plus.
No, I'm not paying for that.
ESPN Plus. If you got ESPN Plus, you're tuned in.
I do have ESPN Plus, actually.
Well, you should be tuned in to the fight.
Okay, well, then maybe I'll get down.
You should be tuned in. It shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, well, we'll see what's up then, maybe.
Chris Eubanks Jr., Kamal Shuramita on the other card. Yeah, I don't know these guys. I didn't even look at the undercard. Fabio Wardley versus Frazier Clark.
Okay, well, you need to stop butchering these people's names and just saying some other people are gonna fight. They might be good fights. That's all. Just leave it there, man. You don't gotta interpret for us, man. It's cool. There'll be some other good fights. All right, cool.
Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron.
So there'll be some other good fights. That's cool. That's good.
I mean, there'll probably be the writer. They've been putting on decent fights. But you got to know. Yeah, we ain't talking about Glass Joe. Ain't neither one of these guys Glass Joe there. Jump man.
Yeah, if you say Glass Joe was in there, it'd be a little bit more entertaining than the names you just named, huh?
Again, the whole point I'm making is the reason I knew I couldn't come to you with a guy who's 2 undefeated champions. What did Mike say at the beginning of the show? Mike said, all we want to see is the 2 baddest mothers getting in the ring and getting it on. Well, you got it right now. And Cleveland, will you tune in? Maybe. It depends. Did my dog need to go for a walk? Do I need to give my dog a bath this weekend? I don't know. It depends. I might not have time. And so that's what I'm dealing with, fans. I'm trying to talk boxing with somebody who don't even care about boxing. So how am I going to mention some names?
I do care, but you're. But here's the whole point, Cameron. You just would have said Bud Crawford and Errol Spence are fighting. Oh, okay.
Okay, but that's not the fight.
You did it in the Jeopardy way. This fighter beat Canelo. This fighter is undefeated with knockouts. It's like, what'd you say her name?
Because you're not going to know. You're not going to recognize who Arturo Benavidez is. If I tell you he's the WBC, IBF, and WBO.
This is your problem. It's not just me. It's not just me.
So I'm going to do an experiment. Well, I may or may not do an experiment. It depends. It depends on what actually goes on Saturday. To see how many places I have to go to watch this fight, but I'm not missing this fight. So I know
plus, so you shouldn't have to go too far.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go get my Fire Stick, and I'll have to plug it in somewhere. I can watch the fight wherever I'm at. SB, open up the basement. SB, I might come up back to the crib. Put some more steaks on the grill. SB, let me bring my Fire Stick, and we can watch the fight this weekend. Because Cleveland sure ain't gonna watch it. I'm gonna be by myself. Cleveland, you already heard his dog. He might have to give his dog a bath today with a lice bath and make sure he don't have any bugs and tracking any bugs throughout the house. He might have to give his dog and comb his hair or some shit like that.
If it was Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, I wouldn't be doing all that.
Okay, Cleveland. But you got to this is something else. Again, I know we're talking about boxing on some lesser known players, lesser known boxers from just around the world. I mean, neither one of these guys, one's a Russian and Armenian, I believe they are. But this is my problem when I hear people say, I'm a Laker fan, but I only watch them play good teams. So Sacramento could come to town and smack y'all. I mean, you guys just underestimate them. You're not gonna know who playing on the Sacramento team. You're not gonna know who playing a Portland team if you only watch the Lakers when they play OKC or Golden State Warriors. You're not gonna know who's on Portland team. When Portland plays, you're not gonna be able to know.
Such a horrible example.
It's not even. Because you're an NBA fan, you might be tempted to watch Portland versus Lakers, knowing that Portland always give it to them on a historical fashion.
82 games a season, multiple players on a team. This is an individual sport that they fight like 2 times a year max.
So they should be fresh when they get in the ring, huh?
You should know who they are.
The fans, most fans, boxing fans have no problem understanding and knowing who Dimitri Bivol is. When I say that dude, he beat Canelo, they know exactly who I'm talking about. They know exactly the ass whooping he put on Canelo. That's intriguing enough to get that guy to tune into this fight.
that's such a finite amount of the population that is what the problem with boxing is.
Well, it could be. But I'm telling you, this is a fight. Again, if I say Dimitri Bivol, you're still like, who? Who? You're gonna next? If I mention Dimitri Bivol has a fight this weekend, you're gonna say, who has he fought? And then when I say, oh, he whooped Canelo ass, you're like, oh, really? That gives you cause for pause. And when I tell you Dimitri or Arturo better BF is probably a more dangerous fighter, what really cements it is when I say he has 100% KO rate. Now that got your attention. That's going to be a hell of a fight this weekend. There's no way if it goes 3 rounds, if it goes 9 rounds, it's going to be a hell of a fight this weekend. I'm not making any money on this fight, but you guys should tune in if you're even the most minute boxing fans should tune into this fight because it's going to be a hell of a fight. 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Has the Pete Rose ban been lifted, Cleveland?
No.
Why not? Lifetime ban. Lifetime is over. Lift the ban. What's the deal?
Has the shoeless Joe Jackson ban been lifted?
Was he given a lifetime ban?
Yeah.
So Pete Rose not getting even posthumously.
There's been no discussion of it. It's still fairly fresh and fairly recent. So no, that hasn't really. It's not like once he dies, oh, you're in the Hall of Fame. No, that's not how that works.
All right, Cleveland, I'm gonna let you talk about the Major League Baseball playoffs this year. Has it been more exciting this year than most seasons? We got 7 go-ahead or tying home runs in the postseason. Has this been more than you could remember? Talk about would like you also to talk about the pressure that Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge is facing. Shohei before tonight, Shohei was 1 for 10 before he hit a home run and drove in a run, if I remember correctly. Aaron Judge is hitting 207. Also, are you more impressed with the Tigers or the Royals in their playoff run? Go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are.
Yes, this playoffs has certainly been more exciting than in the last couple of years past, for sure. I do like the format where it's the best 2 out of 3 and the best 3 out of 5 and then the best 4 out of 7. That's pretty cool. The Tigers and what they've been able to do has been, in my opinion, a little bit more impressive than what the Kansas City Royals have been able to do, simply because no one expected the Detroit Tigers to be in the playoffs, and really they was kind of riding the Cy Young winner through all of these playoff series. And Bobby Witt Jr. hasn't quite shown up just yet, but he's certainly an MVP caliber player. So I would have expected that series to be a little closer than the others. I'm certainly intrigued by this Padres Dodgers series just because it's just got so much star power to it. And the Stars have been contributing at a high level to this point.
It looks like they're going to be playing a 5th game here, right?
And that will be in Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine. So, yeah.
Let's see. Shohei right center. Single to right center. Mookie Betts single to right center. Shohei to second. I mean, these guys, Will Smith homered, Gavin Lux homered. So these guys are riding high, man. So do you expect the Dodgers to pull this out, or you think the Padres could knock them out for the 4th year in a row?
I honestly have no idea. Well, I don't know who the Game 5 starters are, but either team has a potential to win it, which makes it that much more compelling. They don't have dominant pitchers on either side. I don't know if it's going to be Darvish or Snell for 5, and I don't know. I have no idea who's pitching for the Dodgers.
So when I told you the other night that the Padres, I wasn't aware of what the Padres was doing with the Dodgers this season. They're 8-5 over the Dodgers just this season alone. Tatis has been on a run, 4 homers in 5 games. Like apparently he's not doing that tonight, but ooh, dude tried to one hand pick up and throw him out and miss a ball. For the Dodgers, let him get on base in the bottom of the ninth. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be well worth watching. Cleveland, was it fair for Francis Tiafoe to curse out the chair umpire this past weekend? Did you see that?
I did not see Tiafoe cuss out the chair umpire. What was that regarding?
He gave props to his opponent after he lost. Good match, and then told the dudes like "F you." I mean, seriously, you made terrible calls up there. He was just calling them out, and I think he got a little fine for that. But it was kind of comical. Surprised you didn't see that.
It's not.
So what's happening at Metro Stadium this weekend?
Nothing at all. Quiet as a church mouse.
Interesting. Maybe Blanchett can show up there or something. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we give you the number game at the beginning of the show. Midway through the show, we give you this week in history segment. At the end of the show, Cleveland, I like to end the show with a quote. I believe this quote, you guys can use this for inspiration to carry you through the week and through the weekend, and then till we meet again next week. Cleveland, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. That's Oscar Wilde. Cleveland is really saying, you are good enough. Be yourself when you walk in any room. Don't try to fake it and be like somebody else. Be somebody else. Just be yourself. That's good enough for everybody. So I wish that you guys take that with you. Again, through the rest of the week, through the weekend. Think about it when you're tuning in to the Bivol versus Better Be a fight this weekend. If you choose to watch it again, it's going to be a hell of a matchup, fans. It's a hell of a matchup. This should be the best fight of the year. I know it's in October. This really should be the best fight of the year. Again, it's probably well worth your time, so be sure to tune in. Cleveland, what you got to say to the people?
That boxing needs to do a better job of promoting fights like this, because this is the first time really hearing about it. I haven't really heard any build up to it, but and also the NFL's long season, and some of these fantasy football owners with some of their false bravado, they're going to get kind of brought down back to earth. Should have quite a bit to talk about next week with regards to the the point differential.
Well, I think the fans kind of want to know: are you going to cut Brock Purdy? I mean,
yeah, I know. Everybody wants to know that, and you'll be in suspense until I do what I do.
The fans wouldn't even believe you probably picked him up and signed him to your roster a few weeks ago, and since he hasn't been performing, that's not very understood.
Looks like I have less than 24 hours to make that decision. So we'll find out shortly.
Fans, he's trying to be so coy with somebody that he just despises. I mean, how do you have somebody you despise in the locker room, run around gallivanting with the rest of your players?
I know it has been a difficult situation. I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been tough.
Fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We appreciate it. I missed my laugh track. Cleveland would have been laughed off the show several hours ago, but I missed my laugh track. A couple more weeks up here in the Northwest. But fans, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, thank you for making our voice your choice. Have a good one.